So obviously, there's a lot of conflicting things happening in the world right now. In some places, it seems like the pandemic is nearing an end. In China, for example, we're seeing a spike in infections. In the United States, you're seeing businesses reopen and this effort to try to live with the virus, no matter how badly it comes back. How is this all impacting travel in the months and year ahead?
Well, travel is seeing a really terrific recovery. You can see it in TSA throughput numbers that are almost back to pre-pandemic levels. Amtrak, 4 million more passengers have booked this year than last year. And even road trips, 26% more road trips are being taken these days. So people are just wanting to get out. And I think it's important to note, Emily, that the definition of travel has really changed post pandemic. Travel can still be a trip across the country or across the world, perhaps, but it can just as easily be a trip or a hike to upstate New York, for example, a walk around the block, or even just going to the gym. People are getting out of their house, and we, in a way, are making the products that are inspiring all those journeys.
Is what's happening in China a concern to you, though? I mean, obviously, it's a massive country. There's more restrictive lockdown measures. What are you taking away from that?
Well, I think that, again, people view travel as a critical part of their self care routine. And so they're going to find a way to travel. It will just be different. They're going to find the ways to travel that are safe for them. So, no, it's not concerning me.
How has this all impacted Away's business? I know you've launched some new products over the last couple of years, but obviously you still need a suitcase, whether you're driving to a national park or flying across the country.
Right. So away, we have a lot of momentum. Every quarter and month of last year, 2021, we saw an increase in demand. In fact, in the fourth quarter of 2021, demand exceeded pre-pandemic levels. And we just closed the books in February, and I'm happy to tell you that our revenue was up over 20% compared to pre-pandemic levels.
How is Away adapting to the pandemic, or what have you learned from the last 2 years about maybe how to be more nimble in the next 2 years?
Well, we just kept going during the pandemic. As you mentioned, we launched new products, a pet carrier. We launched a new store in Seattle. And we took the time to write a long range plan that positions us for future growth no matter what happens. And so we have put in place great supply chain strategies that allow us to build inventory and have it close to the consumer so that no matter what happens, we will be able to meet consumer demand. And that's exactly why our results are so strong.
And what about the rise in inflation and gas prices and how that's going to hit consumer pocketbooks? Is travel going to be the first thing to go, or no, because people haven't been able to do it for so long?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we've spent a lot of time talking to our consumers about that. And what they're telling us is that, again, it's a part of their self care routine and it has moved up in their share of wallet. And 45% of people expect to spend more, even with the current economic and unknown conditions. 45% are spending more than they did before the pandemic on travel.